What's happening, everybody? UFC 306 is going down this weekend, and I'm going to give you guys my picks. So let's get right into it. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Aori Chulang. This is a layup for Rosas Jr. in my opinion. I think he's better at everything. Better grappler, better striker. He's got more power. Um, Look at his chin, dude. He's not getting knocked out. So definitely got to go with Raul Rosas Jr. because, you know, this Ari Chiling, he's not a great opponent. Um, so, yeah, not much to talk about with this one. I think Rosas Jr. is going to knock him out in round two, whether it be on the feet or with ground and pound. I think he's going to finish him. Um, and I think it'll happen by round two. So, yeah, on to the next one. Edgar Shayrez versus Joshua Van. Now, this is an interesting one. Um, I'm going to be going with Joshua Van, but it's close because Edgar Shayrez is a really good fighter. He's got good submissions, he's got good striking, but I think Joshua Van is just going to be a little bit more powerful and quicker in the boxing exchanges, and I think his grappling will hold up. I think his cardio will hold up, and the only worry for me in this fight is that Van got knocked out not too long ago. I think, yeah, only a month ago. So it is a little bit worrying. He could get knocked out, but I do think he's just a little bit better. I think in the boxing exchanges, he's going to have more power, more sting on his shots, more better technique. But Edgar Shayrez is a really good fighter, so I'm not going to be surprised if he gets it done. But I'm going to be going with Van by decision, just out damaging Shayrez. I think it'll be a close fight, but clear for Van. So that's my prediction for this fight. Let's move on to the next one. Yasmin Yaregui versus Ketlin Souza. So I'm going to be going with Yasmin Yaregui. I haven't really seen much of her, but she beat Sam Hughes. That's a pretty good win because Sam Hughes did just fraud check a girl, I think, on a fight night recently. So not a terrible opponent, but Yasmin Yaregui, she lost once. She got clipped very early in the fight, and Ketlin Souza, I'm just not that high on Ketlin Souza. I gotta be honest, if you asked me who Ketlin Souza was before I saw this fight, I couldn't tell you. So I think Yaregui is actually pretty good, so I'm gonna be going with her to win by decision. But on to the next one. Now this is a banger. This is an amazing fight. Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This is a close fight. Ignacio Bahamondes is a really good fighter, but he does, he gets hit sometimes. Um, I could see him struggling to get a finish in this fight, and Manuel Torres loves to get in a scrap. He'll bring the scrap to you, and I think he'll be able to do that with Ignacio Bahamondes. And I think you'll be able to find his chin in round one, whether it's an elbow, a big hook, I don't know. But I think Manuel Torres is a really good fighter, and I think he's the next, kind of big thing out of Mexico. So I'm going to be going with Manuel Torres by a knockout in round one. I think it's going to be a scrappy fight. Both of them are going to have moments, but Torres will get, he'll find the best shot, and I think he'll put Ignacio Bahamondes out. So that's what I'm going to be going with for this fight. I'm really excited for this one. If I had to pick a fight of the night on the prelims, it'd definitely be this. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is my first underdog pick of the card, I think. Yeah, my first underdog pick. So, let's move on to the next one. Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. Irene Aldana she's pretty good. She had a fight of the year candidate, I guess. I've heard people say that. I don't remember the fight that well, but she had a good fight against Irene or Carol Rosa. But I don't really think she's that good. This Macy Chasson win was fluky. So I'm gonna be going with Norma Dumont just because. Just because I got a feeling, you know, some of these picks There's not much to it. I just have a feeling, and I got a feeling Norma Dumont is gonna win. So I'm gonna be going with her by decision, and we will move on to the next one: Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne. So this is a good fight, but I cannot comprehend why it's on the main card. I don't get it. Do you get it? If you get it, let me know, because I don't get it. I mean, I know Ronaldo Rodriguez is Mexican. I don't give a shit. I don't give a singular shit. They could have put literally any fucking card with any high ranking Mexican in this spot. Any fight, I meant, not any card. They could have put any fight with a high ranking Mexican on this slot, but they put Ronaldo Rodriguez. But Ode Osborne, as far as I'm concerned, is like a layup for anybody. You know, anybody good at flyweight is gonna beat him. I mean, he's just not great. He's not got a great chin, you know. That's very bad at flyweight. And Ronaldo Rodriguez, he's a very powerful striker. He's got, you know, he can bring a scrap to you. He's got a good chin, and he's got very good grappling. Ode Osborne, you know, he likes to get rear naked choked, and I think that Ronaldo Rodriguez will be able to find a rear naked choke finish by round 2. So that's what I'm going to be going with for that one. Now, Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovic. This is an awesome fight. I still don't think it should be on the main card, but it's a really good fight. I'm kind of shocked seeing these odds. Esteban Ribovic is a pretty big underdog. I'm going to be going with him to win this fight by a knockout in round 1. I think Daniel Zellhuber is a very good fighter, but he relies on his range and being able to, you know, close, or not close. He relies on being able to keep distance between him and his opponent, and I think he's going to have a really tough time doing that against Esteban Ribovic. You know, I think Esteban, he's got a great chin. He's very powerful. One thing he does that I think is going to work really well in this fight is he'll mix up hooks to the body and head, and I think he's going to be able to close enough distance and get close enough to land those body punches, which is what you should be doing against a taller guy like that when you get in the pocket. Focus on the body first, mix it up, and then you'll be able to land a headshot. In Zellhuber's last fight, he did have a scrap with Francisco Prado, and Prado, you know, he was hitting him with some good shots. I think Esteban is going to be able to catch him in round 1 and put him out. I think it'll be something like he'll throw a jab, and then Zellhuber will be against the fence, and I think Esteban will rip a right hook to the body, left hook to the body, and then right hook up top, and I think he'll knock Zellhuber out. But this is a fantastic fight. I'm not going to be surprised whoever wins this, but I'm going with Esteban Ribovic. I think he's very good. He has struggled a little bit in the past with some of his opponents, but I think he's getting better. He's a very good fighter and very entertaining fighter to watch. And the main reason I'm picking him is because of the way he mixes up hooks to the body and the head. I like it. He does it a lot in all of his fights. And he's got a good chin. He's not afraid to get in a scrap. And I think that's what you got to do against this a tall, lanky guy like Zellhuber. You got to get in a fucking war, and you got to bring it to him. And I think Esteban can do that. So I'm going to be going with Ribovic by a KO in round 1. And on to the feature fight, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. Now, this is a tough fight for me to pick because Ortega, sometimes he doesn't look good in fights, but he still finds a way to win. Like that Yair fight, he did not look good in that fight, but he still found a way to win. It's hard to put him away. He's got a really good chin. His striking, it doesn't look that great, but it's very effective. He's got good boxing. And I think if he can survive round 1, he's going to give Lopez a hell of a fight. Because we saw in that Dan Ige fight, Lopez's gas tank didn't hold up very well. Now, there were some circumstances in that fight, like he had to make weight a couple times. It was a new opponent who didn't have to cut weight, but I just think Lopez doesn't have a great style to go the distance, but I don't think he'll need to. I think he'll be the guy to crack Ortega's chin, because Ortega did get dropped pretty bad by Yair. Um, I just think Lopez is going to be too powerful and too aggressive early on for Ortega to really be able to survive. I think Lopez is going to catch him and put his lights out pretty early into the fight just because Ortega is pretty slow and Lopez is very fast. So I think Lopez is going to crack him with a big left hook and follow up with a right hand, and I think he's going to knock him out in round 1. So that's what I'm going to be going with for this fight. I think Lopez will be the guy to crack Ortega's chin. But I'm not going to be surprised at all if Ortega wins, because this is kind of a bad matchup for Lopez. I'm excited to see the grappling in this fight. I think it'll be more of a stalemate. But if I had to say who has the better chance of getting a submission, I'd say it's Lopez, just because I think he's got a better chance of hurting Ortega on the feet. So I think he might be able to hurt him and rock him and then take him down, get his back and submit him. But I doubt there's going to be a submission because both of these guys are very high-level grapplers. But I'm going to be going with Lopez by KO in round 1. So, co-main, Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko, number 3. I don't have a whole lot to say about this fight. The last fight was very close. I thought Alexa won, but I don't think the scorecards were right. There was some fucked up scorecards. But, I think Valentina is just, she's getting old. She's not in her prime anymore. Alexa Grasso is in her physical prime right now. She's kind of building some momentum. She had, the fact that she even won the belt is crazy. And then she had a close rematch. She hurt Shevchenko pretty bad in that fight and won the rounds. But I think Grasso will be able to find her chin this time around round 3 or round 4. I think she's a lot better at boxing, but we'll see. I'm just going with a hunch on this one. I think, and just pattern recognition, we see, when these older champions lose their belt and then they have a rematch and it's close, usually the third time, the younger guy wins. So I'm going to be going with Grasso by a KO in round 4. I think she'll just sting Shevchenko with something on the feet, follow up with ground and pound, and then I think they'll stop it. So not much to my prediction for this fight, but I think Grasso at this point in time is just a better fighter. But we'll be moving on to the main event. Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Little goblin man. Look at that nose, dude. It's disgusting. But I'm going to be going with O'Malley by KO in round 1. I think the story of this fight is Merab sucks at everything, but he's got really good cardio. And what does he do with that cardio? He shoots takedowns. He holds you against the fence. He tries to smother you. But to do that to somebody, you've got to close distance, and it's really hard to close distance against Sean O'Malley because, number one, he's long and lanky for a bantamweight. Number 2, Merab is a little midget man with short T-Rex limbs. Number 3, Sean O'Malley is very good at finding chins. That's what he does. He knocks people out. He's a very good shot selector. It's like before the fight, they plan on landing one thing, and they usually always do land it. And Tim Welch is very good at seeing things mid-fight, seeing openings, and then telling Sean O'Malley what to do. And Sean is a very good listener. So I'm going to be going with Sean by a knockout in round 1. I think he's going to crack Merab with that right hand as he's trying to shoot a takedown. I think he's going to catch him right on his big nose, and then I think he's going to follow up with a left hook as Merab is wobbling around, and I think he's going to knock him out cold in round 1. I think Sean is really going to expose all of the holes in Merab's game, and I just want to say, I will not be surprised if Sean O'Malley gets a submission, because I just got a feeling he's really good off of his back. Like, we haven't seen him really grapple since the Yan fight, and it's been like 2 years, I think, almost 2 years since that fight. That's a lot of room for improvement. He's 29. You know, I think I think Sean O'Malley is gonna knock him out. I think it's a pretty easy fight for O'Malley, but we'll see. We'll see, man. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.